Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LeTip Live. LeTip is an organization of like-minded individuals brought together to help each other's businesses grow. And today we have a special treat because here at LeTip, we do what they call visitations, where members visit each other. And what we like to do here at Undefeated Media is do our visitations live with you guys. So you get to learn about our members and what they do and what they're all about. So without any further ado, we're going to bring on our featured member for today's live stream, Charles LaCorte from Amplified Moving. Charles, how are you?
How are you? How are you? Thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
I'm great.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, spending some time with us here so we can get to know you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, we want to remember everyone that we are live. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, please put it in the comment sections and me and Charles can answer it live with you today. So Charles, new member, right? Newer member just coming in.
Definitely newer. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Definitely newer member. Maybe 2 months now, something plus or minus 60 days.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. So how is it so far?
It's interesting. It's a good experience. It's a new experience, I should say, for me. First time that I've been a part of any sort of networking group or organization or anything really like this. So it's a learning curve, and it's learning kind of the routine and being a part of the meetings and doing stuff like this visitation. That's not bad anyway. It's just just new to me.
Awesome. So normally I ask people like what LeTip means to them, and it's normally a member that's been in here for a while. Since you're a newer member, my question would be like, how did you get involved or find out about LeTip?
That's a great question, and probably I had a little bit of a more direct knowledge or access, or I was somewhat familiar with LeTip through my father, who's a member of this same group that we're all a part of as the architect represent, and he has always talked about it and definitely spoke highly of it. So when the opportunity arose for some sort of moving industry or moving company to be a part of it, when that position opened, he immediately brought it to mine and my brother Patrick's attention, and we definitely seized on the opportunity to be a part of it.
Awesome. And it's great to have you. So, I'm sure you'll learn more about LeTip and we'll revisit those questions at another time. But let's learn more about you and Amplified Moving. How did that come about, and what is Amplified Moving?
Amplified Moving is a pretty straightforward residential, commercial, moving company. We do exactly what the name suggests. We move private residents or small businesses or even medium-sized businesses from their homes or apartments or office spaces to wherever it is that they're going. We work interstate and intrastate, and we're licensed for local and long distance is really what that means. And we also provide a storage facility. So we're dispatched and we're based out of Clifton, New Jersey, which is where our trucks dispatch from. And we have a small to medium warehouse where we can store, a select number of customers for short-term, storage purposes. It's not anything like an Extra Space or a Cube Smart or anything like that. But if people, have a week or a month or even 3 months in between going from point A to point B, it's definitely service that we could provide, holding on to their property for some period of time.
Awesome. So where you bring it to a special location to hold it? What the transition period?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's our warehouse in Clifton. We have a warehouse in Clifton, and that's where we would hold it. We hold it within our facility securely until they need it to be moved. It's not, we don't offer outside storage for, say, like customers to come in. But if it's a customer that's going to be moving with us, we can offer that to them. It's just not a grand enough location to kind of have people come in independently. But it's definitely something that kind of helps us in terms of not just being only able to move people, but also able to offer some sort of secure storage for people during their transition.
Awesome. So from what I gather and your talk, you guys are like the best, obviously, but like the word that comes to mind, which is not the word I'm looking for, is luxurious. It's not like a luxurious brand. You're moving stuff, but like it's premium. Like what makes you differ from other companies?
Well, I mean, I'll be fair. I think there's a lot of good moving companies in the general area. I'm not here to, I'm not going to here to pretend to say I'm better or we're better than anybody else. I don't want to present us like that. What I will say is that we are confident in our ability to move people safely and securely, and that people are definitely not making a mistake if they work with us. I believe I've said previously, and not just LaTip meetings, but other, talks that I've given or people have asked questions. I always do concede that amplified moving isn't going to be the most cost effective route to go if you're looking for kind of bottom of the barrel moving services. But that's not because we're just looking to make a buck. It's because we're confident that we're going to be able to provide a top notch service, and so our prices do reflect that. So if you're, I always say, if you're looking for cheapies moving service, that's not, don't call amplified moving. If you're looking to have the job done right, then call amplified moving, and you're going to pay for the service that you get. We could do everything from white glove service or full pack, whichever term you want to use, which is literally, we come in, we pack everything from the kitchen cabinets to the bedroom to the bathroom, or we could just do a straightforward move. You pack everything yourself. We just come in, move the boxes in the furniture, and we get you from point A to point B. But we will do it right, and we will do it safely, and we won't damage your property. That's not to say we're perfect. We have an incident once or twice a year, just like anybody else. But out for the 40, 50, 60, or 80 jobs we do during the months of the summer months, if you add that all per year, if we have if our track record is, if we're 100 wins to two mistakes, I'll take that anytime.
Nice, nice. So, do you have like an interesting story or how Amplified came to be? The beginning, like what made you
Amplified
guys start
moving
off with?
came to be really started. Really, my brother Patrick was the foundation of the company. He got the ball rolling. He had some experience working in the moving industry and decided to break out and then do it on his own. It really is a small, family run business in that it was started out of a garage in a house that we were living in, and went from there to just a small, rented parking spaces for the trucks, to now, like a modest warehouse center in Clifton. So it very much is, the small business that started, with like, a box on four wheels type of thing. And now we have six, full size moving trucks, and we do the best that we can. Obviously, we're still a small business, but we've definitely come a long way since day one, which was 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago now.
Awesome, awesome. Any interesting stories how you got involved and how
I
your story?
great question. So I actually only recently, as of August of this year, of last year, I should say, uh, came directly involved with Amplified. I've always been, working with my brother in some aspect on something, but it really came to be my partnership, or my involvement with Amplified. It really came to be through another business that my brother and I have that I managed for him. And when the kind of his right hand man for Amplified Moving decided it was time to move on to the next chapter in his life, I think based on the success we had with our other entity, my brother had decided, this may not be a bad idea to bring me on to kind of take the reins for both of them, and just kind of insert that formula that I had used for other business into this one, and see if we could kind of develop the same result. Two separate, two completely different industries, but still business management, I guess you could say.
Awesome. Great stuff. I do want to remind you guys at home that we are live. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, please put it in the comments section and we can answer it live with you today. As a reminder as well, we're with Charles LaCorte from Amplify Moving, and this is his visitation. We're getting to know Charles. So great stuff. So like I said, put a question in the comments section. Awesome. So any like interesting stories or tips or tricks for someone who's looking to move or is moving, something they should start to do or look for, or the process? Anything we can tell the viewers at home?
Sure. I think directly related to amplified moving, and probably in all fairness, most moving companies these days, um, we base all of our estimates. So first and foremost, we absolutely offer complimentary estimates to anybody who's interested. So if you're moving commercially or residentially, and you're interested in just getting some sort of estimate or a ballpark figure of what it would cost to work with us, you can contact us, and we'll absolutely do it virtually, through video call, over the phone, or we're more than happy to send someone on site, to your home or your office to do that. That's obviously become the less popular route these days. but we're more than willing to send somebody out. And then as far as tips goes, if you're going to be moving with a company, and what I was just getting to, that's basing like we do with hourly estimates, we're kind of taking an idea or an inventory of everything that you're going to have to move and kind of putting that into perspective of how long we believe it will take us to get the job done. I mean, in terms of budgeting a move, whether you work with us or anybody, I think, some tips are, absolutely, be prepared. I know that sounds, maybe silly to say, but you'd be surprised how many people, aren't prepared or wait till the very last minute to contact a moving company. And that's going to automatically, elevate their costs because they're going to be less prepared on the actual day of the move. And we're going to come in and it's going to take us more time. Do all this. Like, we're happy and we're here to take care of all the big things, to literally move the big things. If you want to save yourself some time, a headache, and perhaps even some money, be organized, take care of the small stuff, and just how's the best way to put it? Just be aware of what it is that you're actually looking to do and willing and hoping to move versus, what may not need to go. And I guess one thing I could say is, just remember that sometimes or not sometimes, actually all the time, what you're really paying for is you're paying for the cost of convenience. So, sometimes the price does seem a little high for, what it is that you're doing, but remember, you're paying somebody because this is something that you don't feel like doing. These guys are going to come in and move everything for you. So it's the cost of convenience. That's really all I would say in regards to kind of some tips. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We're a moving company. We're here to help you move from point A to point B.
Awesome. Great stuff. So, I'm sure, shout outs to Sheldon. I'm sure Sheldon could attest. Here's a real estate agent in the group. Due to the pandemic and the way real estate is right now, there's a lot of people moving and buying and selling homes and moving all over the place. So I'm sure it's crazy. What's going on right now is crazy for you guys and crazy busy for all companies. So I would assume that the sooner they contact you, the better with scheduling and availability. Is that true?
Yeah, that's definitely fair to say. I will say that directly related to what you were just saying, with the way the market was going and people's houses selling in a day, that sometimes there's nothing you can do. Sometimes, you list your house and before you know it, someone's buying, they want to close as fast as possible. And so, before you know it, you're contacting people and say, I need to be out of my house in 10 days or whatever. I mean, just like anything else, of course, the more proactive you are, the more it's going to help you hammer out all the small details, like, like your moving company, and contacting us as soon as possible gives us a better opportunity to get somebody there if you're comfortable, to get a real idea of, what we're working with. It's really the only complications in our industry really arise from things that when we don't have the opportunity to go on site, that we can't predict and that's really directly related to, doorways, staircases, those type of things. If we're able to get in and measure these type of things and get an idea for the appliances or the large piece of furniture, if we know ahead of time, we can make a lot more accurate estimate for you versus just kind of giving you a generic estimate based on how things usually go, because there's always going to be a circumstance where a staircase isn't wide enough or a door has to come off hinges or even the frame. And, those are the little things which are unique to the moving industry. But, since that's what we're talking about, those are absolutely steps that you can take to, to help everyone, to help yourself and to help us.
Great. Would it be a good idea? So like we're in the state and we want to, approach you and contact you as soon as possible. Would it be a good idea? So once you're selling your house and your house goes on the market to do a consultation with you, video consultation, just to have the preliminary steps. So when the house is sold, maybe quickly, that you already have done that video tour there. And then you'll be like, you might not know where you're moving to, but at least you guys will know it's on your radar. It's in your queue that, it could be a day, it could be a month that these people are moving. That would probably be a good idea, right?
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. And, I mean, I completely understand with the way the world turns right now that sitting down for 30 minutes or even 40 minutes to walk through your house on video, or even have someone come over, to find the time to have someone come over for 30 or 45 minutes to walk through your house. I understand that it's a lot easier to just kind of jot down quickly that what you think you're going to be moving. I would just say, the more in the dark we are about what it is that you're trying to do, the more in the dark your estimate is going to be. And then, what I, for lack of a better term, what I hate when it happens is when we have situations where, it's sticker shock. You know what I mean? We have a job where there's so many variables that it's really hard to give anyone any real sort of accurate idea of what it is that we're going to do. So, they still want to work with us because they like us and they like, they feel comfortable based on the conversations that we had. But, when there are variables that are completely out of our control, the cost may, 9 times out of 10 rise. And we could avoid all of that if we just have the opportunity to just sit down with you, whether it is in person or on video, and just kind of walk through the physical part of the move. Where in the house is each item? Is it coming from the second story? Is it coming from the third floor? Is it coming out of the basement? All those kind of little things that are, again, I completely understand they're unique to moving, but would definitely help in preparation for getting you moved.
Yeah, and the benefit, I don't want to say there's anything that good that came out of the pandemic, but now we're in this like Zoom world where we used to do everything in person, we used to meet in person. Now, we're kind of spoiled where you can literally do a Zoom call with Charles and do it virtually. He doesn't even have to send anyone there. You can just walk around with your camera phone and get the job done.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really become the way of the industry these days. Even though, obviously people are it's more acceptable now than it was maybe a year ago to visit people at their home. But it's definitely
Mhm.
become the way of the world, and it's fine. It's fine. We can absolutely develop an accurate estimate for you without having to visit you if you're willing to spend probably 20 to 30 minutes on a video call with myself or one of the other members of the Amplified team and kind of walk through your home and get an idea. That is by far the most accurate way to develop an estimate, whether you're working with us or any moving company, is to do some sort of video or in-person situation rather than just kind of send us an email or a text with some jotted notes about what it is that you're hoping to do.
Great. We do have our first question in the comment section. We're going to pull it up. And we do want to remind you, if you have a question, please put it in the comment section. We'll answer it live. Our question is from Connor. Connor asked, do you recommend personally getting a lot of storage crates and bins to be proactive?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's a good question, and absolutely, because we will absolutely. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this because we're a business trying to make money, but we will absolutely provide you with anything that you need, from packing tape to boxes to all moving supplies. But what we're going to do is develop a material cost for you, which would be no different than what you would do to walk into Lowe's or a Home Depot and buy the stuff. And also, because we are an hourly company, if we are going to come in and pack for you, whether you're buying, your own material or not, it's going to spend more time. So if you're talking about being proactive in terms of time and cost efficiency, absolutely. Going to the store and grabbing your own crates and boxes and getting like the clothes and the kitchenware and the diningware packed and ready to go is absolutely the number one way to save yourself some time and probably even a headache, in terms of working with the moving company. I mean, again, we're more than happy to help you. I mean, we do it all the time. And probably
Yeah.
30% of the moves we do are complete full service pack or white glove type service moves. But those are more allocated for the people that, maybe have no real budget concerns. So if you're kind of working on a budget and you want to do this as quickly and as efficiently as possible, absolutely. And whether you buy boxes or plastic bins or storage bags, it really doesn't matter. We don't have any real restrictions in terms of what type of material you use to pack your goods. Just please pack it properly so that it doesn't be damaged in shipment. In other words, in the boxes, pack your diningware, your ceramics, your porcelains, pack them properly.
Great. And not even just a test to you as a person. Like you could easily say, no, we'll take care of it and charge you extra, whatever, but you're trying to help people be cost effective. No, like you could do this, you could do that. So that's just a test to you. And you're a great addition to the group trying to help people get from point A to point B. So great
Absolutely.
stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, comment sections for questions, comments, concerns. Let's shift gears a little bit. So we talked about LeTip, we talked about Amplify Moving. Please check them out. Let's get to know Charles, as a person. Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any things that you like to do besides Amplified?
No, I spend all day. I eat, drink. No. Yeah. Of course, of course. You know, I'm a pretty athletic guy. I do take part in, you know, like sports leagues, you know, volleyball leagues, um, flag football leagues. I'm also a musician. That's probably my number one, you know, side hobby. I've pretty much my entire life I've been a musician in the cover band world, you know, bar band world. You
Hmm.
know, a little bit of original music here and there. But I've played with for church bands, everything. Um,
What's
and
your instrument of choice?
I'm a my first instrument, and I would say my primary instrument, and my always my go-to, the foundation of my musical career has always been the bass guitar. I was the guy
Nice.
in high school who had two or three friends that were already musicians. You know, I already had a musician that was a played electric guitar and drums and keyboard, and they kind of looked at me and they're like, "If you want to be in the band, you're gonna have to learn how to play bass because we don't know anybody that plays bass." So I just kind of got stuck with that, which is probably the story of everyone. No one dreams of being a bass guitarist; they just kind of get jammed with it. So that's my story.
Nice, nice. So I don't know if you might be a fan if you like sports. I think it's a great show, Ted Lasso on Apple TV. I don't know if you've ever seen Ted Lasso.
I've definitely
Have
heard of
you?
it, have not seen it, no.
Great show. If you're a sports guy, you definitely love the show. But there's a question that he asks. It's in one of the first episodes where he's asking the boss. He goes in every morning and asks her a question. And one question that he asked that stood out was he asked the question, first concert and best concert. So what's your first concert and then what's your
Oh
best
man,
concert?
the first concert. Good question. I think the first concert I ever went to. Oh man, the first concert I ever went to was probably. Oh, it was. There's a radio station here local to us, Z100, and back in
Nice.
like the late '90s, they were doing. They did a concert tour or a concert series they did like once a year called Zootopia or something
Yep.
similar to that. And
Yeah.
it was like a summer concert where it was one of those like 4 hour shows where they had maybe 8 or 10 different artists do like small sets. So we went to one at the Nassau Coliseum, and like I think Aerosmith was like the headlining act at that time. So that was definitely my first real like big time concert. Best concert I've ever been to, probably just for the sake of like kind of maybe like the betterment of the world type of thing. I was able to attend the Live Earth series, which was like kind of the tribute to the Live Aid back in the late '80s. There was Live Earth. I think it was the early
Nice.
2000s, and that was another sort of like various artists giant concert that they did. It was still Giant Stadium before it was MetLife, and that was very much like I think like there was Green Day and the Smashing Pumpkins and Fall Out Boy and
Nice.
Bon Jovi and a lot
That's a
of
good one. Yeah.
crazy. Those type of concerts are always a very eclectic mix of artists. It's not like
Yeah.
one genre. It's a bit all over the place.
Yep. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. So you mentioned MetLife. Do you have a favorite sporting team or football team?
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I've definitely, in starting the few businesses that we have, I've definitely fallen off watching as much sports as I do. I just have lost the time to pay attention to sports as much as I used
Hmm.
to. But absolutely, growing up, I was a huge, New York Giants football fan. Um, I visited Atlanta, Georgia, back when the Braves, well, they just won the World Series, but in the mid 90s, when they were like, when they won their first World Series, I had just visited Atlanta and their stadium back then. So I was kind of young and impressionable, and I just took to them. So I've always followed the Atlanta Braves, which is kind of an odd when you're living in the metro New York area. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely, I would say baseball, football are kind of my leading sports, but I am definitely a fan of professional hockey as well as basketball as well, but I don't follow as closely.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm sure it's tough too because when people are off work, like on Sunday, it's probably your prime time to move them, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
you
it's
get to miss.
true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sunday's a busy moving day. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Favorite food. I'm just gonna rapid fire some fun questions. You got a favorite
Sure,
food?
sure. Favorite food is sushi.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie, man, good question. I would say off the top of my head, without thinking, like kind of like lightning pick would be Cool Runnings, which is that the story of the Jamaican
Nice.
bobsled team.
Nice. Is that because the Olympics just ended?
No, I mean, I think that's to be fair, I don't know if that's my favorite movie, but that always comes to mind when people ask me that question. It always, maybe that doesn't mean
Good
it is
movie.
my favorite movie, but it does always come to mind. Like it's always the first one off the top of my head.
All right. All right. How about favorite show? Anything you streaming? Anything you're watching lately?
Favorite show? I don't have one particular favorite show, but I definitely am a fan of like what's become very popular as like the docu series type of things. All the streaming services have them, but like what was popular. I know that series, Making a Murderer, was very popular. Like I guess it was two
Yeah.
or 3 or 4 years ago when that was out. So anything like along, it doesn't have to be
How about
like
how
criminal
about Tiger
murder
King?
related.
How about Tiger King?
Yeah,
You-
somebody showed me one episode, like the first episode, and I tried to. No, it wasn't for me. It just I think it was a little too over the top for me.
Yep. 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 Good stuff. Good stuff. How about a guilty pleasure? It could be anything. Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. When people look at me and they see like a like 30-year-old male with a lot of tattoos, I don't think they picture me listening to like a lot of like, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but a lot of like female pop music, like the Ariana Grandes or the Katy Perrys. But I do catch
Wow.
myself like singing along to those songs in the car all the time. So like, it's definitely something
Nice.
that people kind of probably tilt their head at a little bit when they pull up alongside me at a traffic light.
That is something we definitely would not know. So thank you for sharing. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
So yeah, this is great. Last chance for you guys in the comment section to ask Charles a question. Please put in the comment section now. Last chance. Charles, any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else you would like to share with the people watching?
I would just say for anyone, including yourself, who has tuned in or just put this together like you have, I really appreciate it. It's a great opportunity for myself and my brother and Amplified Moving to kind of just put our name out there a little bit. Um, and thank you for whoever watches this in the future, whether it's the full thing or just a clip. Thank you for listening to us for a few moments, and that's really it. It's just sincerely appreciated.
My pleasure. And you guys are always welcome. One day, maybe we'll have you in studio. You're sitting right there with me. You're always welcome to come join us here. And that's kind of the point of this is just so, spotlight the businesses we have in LaTip and help each other grow. That's the name of the game. And that's what we're all about. Um, yeah. So great stuff. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. That was a great episode. A lot of useful information. We got to learn about you. So thank you once again for joining us and on LaTip Live.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, we do these every once in a while. So, definitely tune into the next one and we'll be learning about a new business. So, thank you all for tuning in to LaTip Live.